Take 5. Hey there, folks. How you doing today? Welcome back to the channel. Please bear with the background racket. It's going to be there. Just don't let it interfere with what we've got going on here. Back for part 2 of our accuracy testing with our newly re-rifled project rifle. We, without getting real deep into it, Savage Axis project rifle from this year, we actually wound up changing the barrel to action on it because we could not consistently get good groups out of the rifle that we had in the chassis before. Now we're good. We're getting good groups. If you did not see this video, I encourage you to watch it before you watch the one that you're watching now, because it is part 1 of what's going on here. It's germane to the topic, and I don't want to have to rehash everything that happened there right now. Suffice it to say, we took these ammunitions as well as a couple of these to the range last time, did our accuracy testing, and we got everything from mediocre to really good depending on the load we used. Our Remington Core-Lokt 150 grain is the ammunition that we chose to sight the rifle in with. We got a .60 group last time. Out of this rifle with the Core-Lokt, we also got a very good group with Federal 150 grain non-typical. I think the Federal non-typical and the Federal PowerShock might possibly be the same ammunition. If it's not, it performs very consistently from one style to the other. Same point of impact, similar group size. I had a surplus of the PowerShock, so that's what I adjusted the sights for this year's deer hunt. I only took one deer. I took an antlerless deer with this rifle a couple of weeks ago. It was a headshot at about 120 yards. The pictures are very graphic, so I'm not going to include them here. Just know that it worked as intended. Absolutely no problems with the performance. Just the big deer didn't show up. So we chose for the meat-saving shot and put that critter down really, really quick. Prior to that, I did take the rifle back out to the range, and we tested these ammunitions that you see here in front, which were all provided to the channel for this review by a viewer of the channel, a guy named Joe. Joe, thanks for helping us out with that. It's contributions like this that help us to continue to produce content here on the channel. With the exception of the top box here, the 165 grain Federal Fusion, and this blue box of PowerShock, those were ammunitions that we took with us the first time. The other 4 types that you see here are ammunitions that were provided for continued accuracy testing. The reason those 2 ammunitions were included on the second round is because this one, the 165 grain Fusion, if you will remember from the first portion of the video, grouped very badly. We had a horizontal string of just over and then just under 2 inches. We shot 2 groups, one off of the bipod, one off of the Caldwell lead sled, and that ammunition did not perform well on our first range session. So in all fairness, I brought it back out with us for our second range session, fired from the Caldwell lead sled. I slowed down. I really took my time. I did everything within my power to give that ammunition the benefit of the doubt, which resulted in a 1.35 inch group, which is way better than what we got last time, but it is still not a good group, especially when we know we can get half MOA out of this platform. Moving on to the box that you see right underneath that one, those are also Federal Fusion. That's the 180 grain, and I was really surprised. It performed much like the 165 grain did, in that it gave us a low impact and a horizontal string. Not only was I not impressed, I was a little bit disappointed with those. So moving on to the top box here, the Hornady Custom 150 grain SST. We got a fairly well centered, slightly to the left kind of group. that came in at 1.55 inches. Not a great group. Let's see here. Moving on over to our Hornady Precision Hunter 178 grain ELDX bullet. Those are built for precision and for distance. They've got a high BC. It was not a fantastic group. It came in at 1.2 inches. I wanted to shoot another group to see if I could do a little better than that, but allowing the rifle to cool completely between groups eats up a huge amount of time, and we had several varieties of ammunition that we were trying to test at the same time. So I will take that back out, revisit it with this platform, but for now, the standing group with the Hornady Precision Hunter is 1.2 inches. Moving on to our, let's see, where'd they go? The bottom box right here. Federal 165 grain Vital Shock Trophy Bonded. These are the coolest looking bullets I've ever seen. Nickel plated case, nickel plated bullet, and then you've got this clear plastic thing in the end of it. It almost looks like it's on fire. The first two rounds looked really, really good. I pulled the last one, and the group wound up being just over an inch. I know I screwed that one up. I'm confident that those would have been good, and I will be reshooting that group next time as well. And just for a basis of comparison, I took the 150 grain Power Shocks back out there with me. Those were the group that I shot with them at the first range session was 1.1 inch. I felt like I could have done better with that group, but again, a hot rifle, I didn't have the time to let it cool properly. So I took them back out there again this time, and the 3-shot group came in at 0.85 inches. So we're under an inch, and arguably the more the shooter puts into it, the better that round will perform. And again, as I mentioned earlier, that is the round that I used to harvest a deer this year. So what do we know? Where are we at with this thing? We know that from our first session with it, we got a couple of sub MOA, 0.5 MOA-ish groups out of this rifle. That's really good. I think with a little practice with it, I think with a little load manipulation with some hand loads, that we are going to be able to consistently print sub MOA groups out of this rifle all day, every day. What's next for it? Well, I've already seen a little bit of flash rust on it. It was raining a little bit one of the days that I headed out hunting. We will be pulling this out of the chassis and Cerakoting it very soon, probably not before Christmas, so there's that. We've also got several other projects coming up in the near future for the channel. So as much as I want to continue diving deep on this rifle, I think we're going to have to pump the brakes on it a little bit for now. But I want to know what you think about it. Let me know down below in the comments section what you think about our new setup with the Savage Axis, with this new bull-barreled action. So I have gone on long enough about our project rifle for now. Thank you for watching. As always, take care. God bless.